Okay, I guess so. We'll be continuing on seeing more on Graham's diffusion and diffusion law. So in the previous lecture, we saw that rate of diffusion is inversely proportional to the square root of molar mass of the gas. So from here, we can derive two notes that first of all, if first we can say that if there will be a slow movement of heavy gas particles, and there would be a fast movement of light gas particles. Okay, and here we can write. We can let's actually have some cases on the same. So let's say we deal with case 1 first, wherein we see that a gas is put on in a chamber and which is initially, let's say, partitioned. Okay, and then all of a sudden at constant temperature and pressure we open a small hole in the chamber to let the gas particles effuse, or rather loosely put, diffuse into both of the chambers. Okay, so now the rate can be written as volume of gas diffused divided by time taken by the gas to do the same. Okay, so volume of, why are we saying this? Because V is directly proportional to N. Okay, as we are talking about constant temperature and pressure, rate would be nothing but volume of gas diffused divided by time taken of the gas. Okay, so from here we can write that R is equals to V diffused divided by time taken of the gas. So now let's suppose we are comparing the rates of two such gases, gas 1 and gas 2 respectively. So we can write that V1 is the volume of gas diffused. So I'm just putting a V1 dash here so as to not be confusing it with the overall volume of the two gases. Overall volume of the gas can be written as V1 in both the containers, but the volume of gas diffused can be written as V1 dash. Similarly, V2 dash upon T2 I can write for the volume of gas diffused for the second gas, and time taken by the second gas is, let's say, T2. So this would be equals to root of M2 upon M1. Okay, so hence from here we can write that V2 dash is cleaning up. Okay, so V2 dash, rather V1 dash into T2 divided by V2 dash into T1. V1 and V2 are the volume of gas diffused, should be equal to root of M2 upon M1. So now we know that volume of the gas diffused is directly proportional to the moles of the gas diffused. Hence, let's say N1 were the moles of the gas, of moles of gas A which diffused, rather make it N2 dash. We will say N1 and N2 as the total moles of the gas in both the containers. N1 dash is the number of moles of gas A which diffused in the second container, and N2 dash is the number of moles of the gas which diffused into the second container as well. Okay, so you can think of it something like this. We are comparing the rates, or we are comparing the number of moles here of the two gases. Okay, so I'm just writing. So as V diffuse is directly proportional to N diffuse, we can write in place of V1 dash we can write N1 dash, and in place of V2 dash we can write N2 dash, same multiplied with means just have some mathematical calculation here, or simplification here rather, and we will get to the point that N1 dash into T2 divides by N2 dash into T1 would be equals to root of M2 upon M1. So this is a very important formula. Please remember it thoroughly. Okay, so the questions from this have been asked many times and will be asked many times in the future as well. Okay, so here let's say we know that N1 dash is equals to weight of the gas which diffused in another container divided by molar mass of gas, and similarly for N2 dash we can also write N2 dash as W2 dash divided by M2. So N1 dash upon N2 dash can be written as W1 dash M2 divided by W2 dash M1. Okay, so N1 dash upon N2 dash multiplied with T2 upon T1 would be equal to root of M2 upon M1, which can be N1 dash and N2 dash can be written as W1 dash M2 divided by W2 dash M1. Okay, so in place of N1 upon N2 I am just replacing it with the above equation. So I am just writing W1 dash M2 and divided by W2 dash M1 multiplied with T2 upon T1. So from here we can simplify this equation, and we can write it like W1 dash upon W2 dash times T2 upon T1 would be equals to root of M2 upon M1. Okay, so this is just remember this derived formula also from the first equation. So now let's look at case 2, where we have something like, let's say, again two containers having initial moles of gas A and B. Let's say initial moles were N1 and N2. N1 and N2 are the initial moles of gas A and gas B at constant temperature and volume. Okay, so initially they had only one container. Okay, now the container had been partitioned, rather the partition container has been opened up for the free flow of gas in partition 1 to partition 2 as well. So let's say N1 dash and N2 dash are the moles of the gas which were diffused into the second partition. So at constant temperature and pressure, we can write that rate of the diffusion will be directly proportional to pressure. Why? Because we know that PV equals to nRT. Now T, R and V are constant. This implies that pressure would be directly proportional to the number of moles of gas diffused. So we can write that pressure is directly proportional to P and inversely proportional to root of M. Root of M will still remain the same from the previous lecture. No change on that. Whether it's constant pressure or constant volume, rate would always be proportional to 1 upon root M. Okay, so we can write that rate is directly proportional to number of moles divided by number of moles, which is initial moles of gas A and B, divided by molar mass of M. And secondly, we can also write that rate is also equals to N1 upon T. N1 is the moles of gas A diffused and N2 is the rate of, rather N2 is the number of moles of gas B which have been diffused. So we can analogously write R2 for the same. Okay, so we can just divide, this is N1 dash rather. Okay, number of moles of gas diffused. Okay, so R1 upon R2 can be written as N1 upon N2 times root of M2 upon M1. Okay, so why we are writing T constant here? Why I'm not writing T1 and T2 here? Because both of them would be happening at the same time. Okay, so we can write that N1 dash upon T times N2 dash upon T would be equals to N1 upon N2, which is the initial moles of gas A and B, root of M2 upon M1. So here we can write finally that N1 dash upon N2 dash is equals to initial moles of gas A and B times root of M2 upon M1. Okay, so this is the ratio of moles of gas diffused in time T. Okay, so with this we come to the end of this lecture. In the next lecture, we will be continuing on seeing the same, and then we'll be also looking into enrichment factor or separation factor. So till then, good luck and goodbye.